You check your net worth spreadsheet or maybe your banking app, and for the first time ever, it says $50,000. Not negative, not barely scraping by, not one emergency away from disaster. $50,000, and you feel good, relieved, proud, maybe even a little smug. You think, okay, I'm finally doing something right. You're not rich, but you're not broke anymore either. You start breathing easier. You stop obsessing over every expense. You maybe upgrade your apartment, your car, your lifestyle, just a little. And here's the thing. That exact moment right there is when most people quietly destroy their financial future. Because $50,000 feels like safety, but it's actually one of the most dangerous numbers you can hit. And if you're anywhere near it or working toward it, you need to hear this. My name is John, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, net worth, and why smart people make terrible financial decisions. If you're someone who feels like you're finally okay financially, but still somehow not getting ahead, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right, let's talk about why $50,000 is a financial trap, how it messes with your psychology, and exactly what to do instead. Part 1. Why $50,000 feels like made it money. Here's the thing. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth of Americans under 35 is under $40,000. For ages 35 to 44, it's just over $90,000. So if you're sitting at $50,000, especially in your 20s or early 30s, you're ahead. Statistically, you're doing better than most people around you. And that's exactly the problem. Because humans don't measure progress objectively. We measure it relatively. You don't compare yourself to millionaires. You compare yourself to coworkers, friends, family, and suddenly $50,000 feels like success. But financially, it's an awkward, unstable middle ground. Too much to feel broke, not enough to be secure. Part 2. The psychological trap. I'm safe now. Here's what most people don't realize. Your behavior changes before your math does. At $5,000 net worth, you're cautious. At $15,000, you're disciplined. At $30,000, you're focused. But at $50,000, you relax. Psychologists call this risk homeostasis, when people subconsciously take more risks once they feel safer. It's the same reason people drive faster in cars with better safety features. Financially, that looks like, I can afford the nicer car. I don't need to track expenses anymore. I deserve this vacation. And look, I'm not anti-enjoying your money, but the timing is everything. Part 3. The math that makes $50,000 dangerous. Let's do some simple math. Say you have $30,000 in savings and investments, $20,000 in home equity, or retirement equals $50,000 net worth. Sounds solid, but now let's introduce real life. One emergency. According to Bankrate, the average major car repair costs $1,200 to $4,000. Medical emergency? Even with insurance, easily $3,000 to $7,000 out of pocket. Job loss? The average unemployment spell lasts 20 plus weeks. At $4,000 per month in expenses, that's $20,000 gone. Suddenly, your $50,000 becomes $30,000. That's not stability, that's temporary luck. Part 4. Lifestyle creep hides here. This is where it gets really interesting. Most people don't blow their money dramatically. They don't wake up and say, I'm going to ruin my finances today. They upgrade quietly. A $400 car payment becomes $650. Rent jumps from $1,200 to $1,800. Subscriptions pile up. And because you can afford it, it doesn't feel irresponsible. But here's the catch. Lifestyle upgrades are permanent. Income is not. And once your expenses rise, your margin disappears. That $50,000 cushion, it starts shrinking without you noticing. Part 5. The almost rich illusion. Now you might be thinking, John, $50,000 isn't rich. Nobody thinks that. True, but it feels rich compared to where you were. Behavioral economists call this anchoring. Your brain anchors to your past struggle, not your future goals. So instead of asking, How do I turn this into $500,000? You ask, what can I finally afford now? And that single mindset shift is devastating because wealth isn't built by spending money after you feel successful. It's built by delaying that feeling far longer than feels reasonable. Part 6. Why most people stall at $50,000 to $100,000. Look, this is frustrating but important. Most people who reach $50,000 never hit $250,000, never become financially independent, never experience real compounding. Why? Because the habits that got them to $50,000 stop working once they relax. Saving drops, investing slows, risk tolerance disappears, and inflation quietly does the rest. At 3% inflation, $50,000 loses half its purchasing power in about 24 years. Doing nothing is actually going backwards. Funeral, Part 7. The analogy that makes this click, think of $50,000 like getting halfway across a frozen lake. You're not on shore anymore, but you're not safe either. Stopping feels tempting, but it's the worst place to stop because turning back wastes effort. Standing still is dangerous. Only moving forward gets you out. Wealth works the same way. Part 8, what to do instead, actionable steps. All right, here's the practical part. Step 1, treat $50,000 like zero. Mentally, I know, sounds extreme, but mentally you should behave almost the same as you did at $10,000. Track spending, question upgrades, protect your margin. Step 2, lock in automatic growth. Setup, automatic investing. Automatic savings increases automatic debt payoff. Remove willpower from the equation. Step 3, separate safety from growth. Emergency fund not equal investing money. Once your emergency fund is set, stop adding to cash and start deploying capital. Cash feels safe, but long-term, it's lazy. Step 4, delay lifestyle upgrades by 24 months. This one rule alone changes lives. When income rises or net worth jumps, wait 2 years before upgrading anything. Most desires fade. Your wealth doesn't. Part 9, the story nobody talks about. I've seen this play out dozens of times. Two people, same income, same age, same $50,000 net worth. One upgrades life immediately, the other doubles down for 5 more years. 10 years later, one is stressed, stuck, and paycheck dependent. The other has options, same starting point, different patience. Part 10, the real goal is not comfort. Here's the final thing I want you to understand. The goal of money is not comfort. Comfort is cheap, security is expensive, freedom is rare, and $50,000 is the point where people choose comfort over momentum without realizing it. If you push through, if you stay slightly uncomfortable longer than everyone else, that's when the math finally starts working for you. Look, you're not behind, you're not failing, and if you're near $50,000, you're actually closer than you think. Just don't stop now. If this video helped reframe how you think about money, hit the like button. It helps more than you think. And if you want to avoid the mistakes that quietly keep people average forever, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one.